So I have drawn the conclusion that I am only meant to be placed in people's lives for reasons and or seasons. Over the past 5 or 6 years, I have experienced a lot of loss. And I'm talking about people, friendships that I thought were going to last forever, relationships that are just no longer, people who have passed away, and I still can't even physically wrap my mind around that. Even um, just back to back to back to back loss. It's a pattern, and even looking back on it, there in my childhood, there's been people who have been inconsistent there as well. So my entire life, I've dealt with just inconsistent placement of people in my life, and after every occurrence, the mental toll that it takes on me gets greater and greater and greater. And nobody really talks about how loss affects you and how it changes you and how it alters your way of thinking. It always places me in this space of mental isolation, having to deal with it on my own, answer my own questions, gain my own clarity, and go through it by myself because I don't really have anybody that I can just talk to, about it. I'm not gonna say, and I have friends. I'm not saying I don't have people. I have friends. I got people that I call my friends. Um, but there's a difference in having friends that you can call on, um, and then having people that choose you. I truly feel like I don't have anybody that chooses Meg. I'm no one's choice. Nobody says, "Hey, regardless of what happens, you're my choice. I'm gonna stay here. I'm gonna figure this out with you, um, by any means, right?" So it places me in this mental isolation, and it causes me to start to question my self worth. I truly start to ask myself, "Am I deserving of lasting friendships? Am I deserving of meaningful and uh, substantial connections? Do I deserve healthy relationships? Am I worthy of love?" Like truly asking, am I worthy of love? And my heart knows what I deserve, but my mind has trained itself to think and to tell me, no, you don't. You don't deserve any of those things because you are placed in people's lives to either learn something from them or to teach them something. That's it. And I never try to get too comfortable with people because I know that at some point, like it's gonna come to an end, whether it be abruptly or something just happens to where it just has to end. Um, and I can truly say that every loss that I've taken, besides the ones, of course, that has passed away, has been no fault of my own, and that's an even harder pill to swallow because you didn't do anything. So what about it? Like, what about you is causing this to happen? And I try not to get too comfortable, but the kind of person that I am, I love and I give big. I give my all to anybody that I encounter because that's the kind of heart that I have. I don't have the gray area. I'm either all in or all out, and I try to go in guarded, and I try to go in with this wall up, and I try to go in mindful as I should, but even then, it's easy for me to get comfortable in a space that I feel good in. Um, but that leads me to wanting to cling and wanting to hold on to whatever it is, because I know that at some point, it's gonna come to an end, and that's me overdoing it, over extending, over compensating, over explaining, over proving, over everything, because my self-worth has been so diminished to the point where I'm having to prove to myself that you're not going anywhere. I'm having to overdo things to prove to myself that you are going to be here. That's what loss does to you. That's the part of loss that nobody really talks about. Loss literally will make you feel like you're worthless because nobody chooses you enough to stick it out. And it's not to sound selfish because people have their things, but we still have to acknowledge where you are mentally. And that's exactly what I'm doing now. And I talk to a person, so I don't want sympathy or pity party or anything like that. Because I talk to people, I talk to a person about this. I'm simply sharing my experience because I do feel like there's other people that deal with this outside of myself. And unlike myself, people may not be able to afford therapy or may not have the courage to even seek out. I'm not going to lie and say I haven't come to social media to look for videos that explain to the T what I'm feeling or answer questions that I may have. So people may be in that same boat. But this is where it's left me, and I don't know where I go from here. My heart wants to stay open, and I always pray to God to never alter my heart in any way, because from the heart flows the issues of life. So, you have to be careful to not have your heart changed because of what you experience. But my heart doesn't want to change. My heart wants to remain the person that I am, but my mind is like, I physically cannot deal with this anymore. I physically can't deal with inconsistency. It's taking a mental toll on me. So yeah. Here's to a new series of open and honest thoughts with Meg. Episode 1.